the good, the bad, the ugly, and the fine print on the Liberal platform that was finally released. And I assume that the CPC one will be released within an hour because that was how they planned on doing it. Who blinks first? And on both of them, it's bullshit because the polls are open, the debates are done, and now, load of crap. However, that load of crap is the only thing I've got in the good column here, so we've got it fully disclosed, and that's the good. Yay! Moving on to the bad. There's a line item for new fines and penalties. And by 2028, it's up to $1.75 billion a year. Now, I don't mean to be a conspiracy theorist, but along with another line item saying adding AI into the government workforce, the federal workforce, I'm going to say that some of those people at the CRA aren't going to be replaced as they retire, and we're about to have a whole hell of a lot more problems at the CRA that still will not go after the big fish. So that's going to be fun. Yay. Continuing in the bad, we've got the gun violence strategy, which primarily consists of buying back guns from legal gun holders. Okay. The last part of the bad is that Trudeau said that family reunification, at the end there, Trudeau was changing his stance on immigration and said that we weren't all racists anymore by saying it was too many too soon. Remember that? And he said that he was cutting immigration rates and cutting the family reunification and boosting the category that was economic needs, right? And that's something that most normal people can get behind, myself included. Carney is flip-flopping on that one, and he is boosting family reunification as a core pillar of future immigration increases. Now, for the families involved, family reunification is important. Having their seniors with them, having their family with them, having their family around them, especially as raising children and so on and so forth. However, what Canada does not need right now is more seniors. And seniors are the largest group always in the family reunification immigration queue. And I'm sorry, we can't handle that right now. I have no other ways of saying that other than we cannot handle more seniors. So that's not good. And that's not good for our healthcare and a whole bunch of things. But that's the end of the bad. Oh, sorry, last line item of the bad. There was nothing mentioned about trying to find those however many missing asylum seekers. There was nothing in there about that. But whatever. They're gone. They're in the wind. Probably best we don't spend money on it because we're spending enough on everything else. $130 billion. Now the ugly. Oh, things get real here. Let me just say, this is a page of bullet points. This isn't 2 lines like the other ones. $39.2 billion with a B average annual deficit over the next 3 years. No balanced budget until 2029. Every year that just keeps, like, will someone just own up and say, never? It's like Trump's tariffs with China. Like, just rip the Band-Aid off. We're never going to get back to a balanced budget. Just say it. And listen, I don't expect a balanced budget from the CPC either, because there is no way at this point. Like, there's no way. But let's start being realistic. Never going to happen. Deficit to GDP is never going away. Now, here's the thing. Carney has decided to split the budget into operating budget, so how much you use to pay salaries, keep the lights on, that kind of thing, and capital budget, which is, things that you buy that serve a purpose and or you can derive income from. So if you own a business, you have your capital expenditures, your CapEx, and that'll be your machinery and all of that. And you write it down over X number of years given by the CCA deductions, okay? Then you have your operating budget that is your salaries, your insurances, all that stuff. Hydro bill, all that good stuff. Here's my issue with this. It doesn't change how much money comes in. So, in 2028, 2029, Carney is going to walk out there and run the next election on saying he has an operating surplus of $222 million a year. Operating surplus. Now, here's the thing. There are huge segments of voters, of Canadians, who still don't understand how inflation works, who still don't understand how tariffs work. Do we expect these same people to understand operating versus capital budgets? Or is he going to walk out and say, we have a $220 million operating budget surplus? And people are going to say, woohoo, we're winning, even though we still have a $29 billion deficit. It's brilliant politically. It doesn't change the numbers any. It doesn't change what's coming in. So, as we have this nice size surplus starting in 2028, we're still going to have a massive freaking deficit. And there's $50 billion in capital spending excluded from the operating side of the balance sheet. This doesn't help us. This doesn't help us. And please don't think that for a second that I am not going to go through the CPC with the same fine-tooth comb, because I will. Moving on to my last video about Brookfield and entropy, and Brookfield and the houses. If we were creating these new houses of 500,000 houses a year for the next 10 years, and they were for sale, there would be a line item where the revenue of the sale of those homes would be. If we were creating them and we were to be the landlord, the Government of Canada were to be the landlord, there would be a line item where that revenue would be coming in. There is none. There is only the spend. And the spend is $25 billion on the prefab housing fund, plus a GST exemption for all rentals built. Who's going to benefit the most from that, other than the largest residential landlord in the country? It's right there. It's in black and white. Where entropy is concerned, there's $2.6 billion going to entropy, and Brookfield a part of that. $2.6 billion. Plus, there is a tax credit, 50% tax credit or something, which I don't know how to calculate what the tax credit is based on, because I don't understand the environmental carbon pricing and all of that. I'm not going to pretend to put a number to it. I'm just using their numbers. But we are looking at over 2.6 billion headed that way over that. So we're looking at 27 billion plus the GST exemption going to Brookfield and every other purpose-built rental builder, and the tax credits going to entropy, Brookfield. I don't know how. This goes to show how stupid the Liberals think we all are. Because again, and I said this in the last video, everything that I said about Brookfield and entropy was directly from Brookfield circulars, Brookfield publications, Brookfield PR. This is counting on Canadians not caring or not knowing. It's a moot point now, right? Polls are open. People are happily voting. Moving on in the ugly, as we have wars, as we have our northern neighbor, Russia, and our southern neighbor losing his mind saying he wants to take us over, there's going to be a $500 million a year increase in defense capital. I've seen headlines about shipbuilding and all of that, and I'm pretty sure that 500 million buys nothing in capital spend, but we'll see. Now, the fine print on this, there is a middle tax. I don't think they ever defined that, but there is a middle tax cut. In that, the lowest federal tax bracket is going to be lowered 1%. And again, just that they're framing this as a middle class tax cut shows that they assume Canadians are stupid. Because we pay a marginal tax rate. So if you make up to this amount, you pay this tax rate. And then on the difference between that and the next amount, you pay that rate. So on the first 55,000, you pay the lowest. Then the second 30,000, let's call it, you pay however much. I think it's like 22% or something like that, right? And then the third, but you're not paying, so nobody is paying the whole, like 39, I think, on their whole income. You make $200,000 a year, you're not paying 39% on your whole income. You're paying 15% on 55, 20-something percent on the next one, this on the next one, incrementally. Excuse me. So the middle class tax cut is actually a tax cut for everybody of $825 a year. Everybody's going to be getting that tax cut. He says that there are no new tax brackets being introduced, but chances are he's going to raise some of the rates above that 1% one and sell it in the next budget as, look, we gave you the middle class tax bracket, and those nasty 1%ers who are making $200,000 a year driving their Bugattis are, they're getting $800 too, so we're going to charge them X amount. Just wait for that one. This is a shit show, but it was an expected shit show. I'd be more surprised if the CPC one was a shit show later today, because they're going to have to run a deficit for a while, probably until 28, 29. But I can't stand by our government, our taxpayer dollars, going and making an well-off company richer. Even though we all make money, and I personally will make money if Brookfield does well, it isn't right. Have a good one. I'm sure I'll see you later with the CPC one.